everybody. Before I get to my scheduled remarks, I'd like to also introduce some other members of my family who are here to celebrate with us. My sister Beverly from Chicago. My brother Mike and his wife Jeannie, also from Chicago. Mike's daughter Molly. And my aunt and uncle from Los Angeles, Jim and Phyllis Herzog. Now when you stand up here as the father of the groom and you wonder, what kind of toast, speech do you write? Do you make it humorous? Do you make it serious? Do you do it spur of the moment, or do you go ahead and plan it? You're not sure what the right answer is. There is no right answer, obviously. But I have a few remarks that I wrote that I'd like to mention this afternoon to both Greg and Tami. But obviously it focuses on Greg. I've known him a little bit longer. He was born in Chicago 26 years ago. And at the time his parents had great dreams for him. And I titled this little speech, Great Dreams and Great Distances. Some of the dreams we had were, will he be happy? Will he be healthy? What will happen? What will become of him? And as he's grown, we've realized he's become strong and healthy and quite happy. He began to go great distances in his life, in his intellect and his education, in his physical abilities and in his character. He began to develop great dreams as a young man. He wanted to be an athlete. He wanted to be active in his community. And he wanted to be happy. Now, unfortunately, one of the other dreams he has was to see the Cubs win a pennant. And that's unfortunately not happening for quite some time. And his pursuit of those dreams took him great distances from Chicago to New England, the land of the Red Sox and Harvard Yard, to the South, where he learned to greet everybody with a shalom, y'all, and to Israel to pursue his life's work. There he met Tami. And as I said last night, that meeting was b'shet. It was fate, which is why we're here this afternoon. Tami was a woman who also traveled far, great distances, to pursue her dreams. She's a woman who is loving, caring, smart and strong, a perfect partner for Greg. They soon realized that they wanted to travel even greater distances together. To that end, all of us are here this afternoon to celebrate their marriage and the beginning of their newest journey. But now together as a couple, as a team. I've watched my son grow from a 4-year-old singing the Bears fight song to a wonderful young man singing the prayers of his faith. And I see him holding his bride and cherishing her. Greg, you have become a wonderful son and a wonderful stepson. Tami, Greg could not have picked a more perfect partner. Cherish each other, love each other, grow together. As they begin their lives together, we wish all of them the most happiness in the world. And I ask you to raise your glasses and toast, and help me toast the dreamers, Tami and Greg.
I've known Tami a long time and Greg a short time, and I've had the pleasure of having them at our house for the last 2 Seders, where I always ask questions for money, but they're not allowed to answer since they know almost everything. So, and it's wonderful being around them. We even have them referee some of the questions that we're not sure of the answer to. So I'm supposed to do a hamotzi, and if you can imagine, this is a challah. It's close. And I want you all to join me in the hamotzi. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
I'll start out by saying thank you to everyone. I know Greg and Tami would have wanted event if y'all were not here. So I'm glad that everyone made it. A special thank you to everyone who came from out of town, whether it be Chicago or Israel or Florida, wherever it may be, even if it's from Southern California. Thank you for coming. When I first heard that Greg and Tami were engaged, I was obviously very happy for both of them. Then, after living 18 years of my life living with Greg, I was a little sad for Tami. You know, many parents worry about who their children will marry. One of the most important things for Jewish parents is that they find a Jewish partner. In fact, this is how JJ got formed. I don't know if you know. A bunch of neurotic Jewish mothers sitting around with their 36-year-old son spending too much time online. But, when your son or daughter goes to a place called Hebrew Union College, your chances increase tenfold. It's a scientific fact. Now, some of you may or may not know this, but it's Jewish custom that when the first son is born, that the parents give money to the rabbinate to release their son from this obligatory service to the temple, so that he doesn't have to, become a rabbi. This is actually called make sure I'm pronouncing this is right, the Pidyon Haben of the native Hebrew speakers. Now, when I first found out that Greg was becoming a rabbi, my first thought was, so do we get our money back? With interest, how does it work? We got into town on Wednesday, and I had never met Tami's family before. I actually had only met Tami but a few times. Thank God, Greg had met her a few more times than that, so we were okay. But after our first meeting, after I met Justin, I met Zach, I met Leslie, and I met everyone, I went to Home Depot, and I bought a lamp. Because next time I wanted Zach to actually hear what I was saying. But honestly, I want to thank Leslie, Justin, and Zach, and Tami for welcoming myself, my mother, my sister, my father, everyone into their very wonderful family. I'm glad we can share each other's moments from now on. This morning, as many of you did as well, I saw Tami, and we're down for the first time. And my first thought was, oh no, we're both wearing white. And while I thought the gown looked a little better on me, I said fine, and I had her unzip me. And somewhat of a side note, I spent the night last night in Greg's room with him, but he wouldn't let me spend the night with him tonight, so if anyone's got an extra room, it'd be wonderful. I really need it. He's busy, I don't know. Nearly all my life, I've always wanted to be like Greg. He went to camp. I went to camp. He studied political science. I'm studying political science. He played hockey. I did dance, but that's really not the point. I always wanted to be like Greg. And now that Greg has found Tami, I can only hope that one day I will too meet someone as kind, caring, and loving as she is. I think we all hope for that. So please, raise your glasses, and to Greg and Tami, let us all say Mazel Tov.
Alright, excuse me, I wrote my speech on my iPhone, which is amazing if no one has one.
Code is 2456.
Yeah, my code, I'm not divulging what they are. Alright, so just want to start this off by saying I'm not very good at speeches. Get a little emotional sometimes, so pardon me. Okay. So, okay, I don't know, a few of you here know the story, but it's kind of appropriate to retell it here. So, basically, Tami and I we were destined to be amazing friends, best friends since birth. That's my speech, thank you. Okay, so my dad.
Jay, come up and help her, please.
Yeah. Okay, so we are Bruce postpartum and birth. And when her mom was interviewing a pediatrician, who happened to be my father, that appointment had to be canceled because I was being born. And that's, I guess, how we were destined. Ever since then, I guess, since living memory,
Yes.
we've basically been best friends. We've gone to school from preschool. Some years in between we did not go to school. We've always gone to Sunday school and youth school together. Through college. We were roommates in college. And as someone who has been one of her closest friends, obviously, but also I've just been there through it all, I can honestly say I knew what she was looking for. And I think she found it. She was looking for someone to challenge her, to adore her, and to love her unconditionally. And someone who shares, especially aside from all that, anyone would look for that. Someone who shares her love of Israel and Judaism. And she found that. And, as soon as she met Greg, I knew that she had found the one, as she did, but it wasn't because she told me it. I could just tell. And anyways, I don't think Tami Kush was any better person. And, Greg, aside from the fact that I'm excited that our families will be intertwined in the future, and we'll obviously all love each other as we already do. I can't thank you enough for introducing Tami to a love of dogs. Because my dog is like my kid, and Tami understands. So Tami and I have lived 27 years together, and I'm excited that Tami's got such an amazing partner for the rest of her and my life. So, let's lower our glasses, then we're crying.
All right, let's raise those glasses for the last toast. Everybody in line.